Recognising 10 years of YA books from hockey, what better way to celebrate than a party? Publicity Manager Molly Holt was the glue for this event being a success. Yeah, so going backwards in time, talking about the planning, when did you actually start planning this?
So we started talking about it loosely in the spring, and then I think over the summer was when we had a task force that was organised across the teams, specifically with editorial and PR and marketing, and then we pushed that out based on what we needed. Sales came along. But yeah, I'd say the summer is when it really kicked off, started organising, August into September. We had to think of dates, what we wanted to do ahead of Christmas, why we were doing it, who would we invite, how many people did we want to invite, how much budget did we have, did we want to feed people, drinks. Location wise, London was the best because a lot of agents work in London, we all work in London, easy transport links in. This did mean that some people didn't come, but a lot of people did.
My contribution was in a few ways. I helped Molly decide on the venue. We checked out a few in the local area and we decided on the final place. I was also responsible for the decoration. We had the YALC, the Young Adult Literature Convention, in the summer as an extended Hockey 10 birthday. All year round we made sure that the YALC stand celebrated this too. This meant that the decorations we used for YALC could then be repurposed and used for the Hockey 10 party. The theme was black and gold and this was used throughout. We had gold balloons, we had gold bunting, we had gold napkins, we had gold centerpieces. One of the other things that we had at the YALC stand was a huge banner, hockey branded, with all of our authors from the last 10 years. At YALC, we invited some of our authors to come up with a gold Sharpie and sign their name on the banner. We again used this banner for the Hockey 10 party, having it in the corner of the room so the authors that were there to join us to celebrate Hockey 10 were there, could sign their name on the hockey banner. Though some of the decorations that we used for YALC could be reused, some of them were only single use. So I did end up spending a little bit more money to get some decorations specifically for Hockey 10. Some of this just included more balloons because obviously once you blow them up once you can't reuse them. And similarly to this, we had to get some more helium as well. And helium is a lot more expensive than I thought. I was helping general logistics, sending out some invitations. Then on the night, my job of course was content duty. I had my cameras with me and I was taking some videos and some photos. This not only was able to capture our event, but it gave me something to do while mingling with all of the guests there.
The party itself was very good. It was very busy and there were a couple of hiccups, but by the time the guests got there it was all sorted. It was a bit cold, we had to sort out the aircon, but that was fine, we figured that out. So there were agents, authors there, staff were there, loads of influencers. We had a photo set up, food, drink. Everyone was mingling, it was good.
Event management undoubtedly always comes with problem solving. Whether it's train strikes or no mac and cheese, it all works out in the end.
We had a few issues to deal with. We had rail strikes on our initial date, which meant that we had to cancel it because not only would guests not be able to come, but a lot of staff wouldn't have been able to come into the party. And you don't want a party where nobody turns up or only a few people turn up. We had to reschedule that, get in touch with the venue, try and find a new date. We ended up moving it, but the costs had changed because we were then in the festive period, as they called it, so the food was more expensive. We then had to call the day of to say one of our food choices was low, or it was supposed to be vegan mac and cheese and they said it's not actually vegan, so we ended up splitting it and having mac and cheese, and then I think Thai green curry was the second option, which was still very good. So we had to think about that to get timings in. We had to reschedule it late enough so that people still had time to arrange to come, book trains, childcare, all of those things. It also meant we had more time to chase people and be like, come, if you couldn't come before, you could come now. For the setup, we had to pick a venue that was on brand with hockey. It needed to feel young and cool, but also professional, because hockey is young and cool, but it is a professional event. We were largely there to celebrate the successes of hockey with authors, influencers and agents, but also build on those relationships, kind of invite authors back and say thank you, we love working with you. Same with the agents, and also getting the influencers in so they can have a look at what we've done over the years, because they might not have necessarily followed us for the past 10 years. Hotkey has evolved a lot since it began. So those were the key aims, which then fed into guest list, etc. So when we did the guest list, we got all of the different teams across the company to submit names for the guest list. We had a kind of A, B and C based on the capacity of the venue, which ended up, we started with saying we'd only go for 150 and the venue ended up being able to have 250 people. Each team then invited their own guests, but the publicity team handled the RSVP and the guest list. The publicity marketing team handled viewing venues, booking the venue, sorting out the spend, so the drinks, the food, decorations, which was largely left over from YALC with a few extras. We wanted to keep the brand and theme of the Hotkey 10 going from YALC, so we wanted to use very similar things so it would be the same. And then the day of, it was all hands on deck from PR and marketing. On the day we checked on any last minute RSVPs, we created the name tags many a time because we had to ensure that the font was big enough for everybody to be able to see it, whether they had their glasses on or not. And we had them in very fancy cards, which Eleanor made, which was very good. We had to pack everything up, load it up, take it downstairs, put it into a taxi, send it round. The rest of the team kind of waited there, unload it. We turned up and the venue was not quite as clean as it perhaps should have been, and the event manager had an audit, so we didn't actually get hold of him for about an hour. So we had to kind of set up blind and just move things. I think in those situations you've just got to get on with it and just do what you want to do. Better to apologise and ask for forgiveness than to just wait around. So we started organising, we blew up balloons, we decorated tables, we put books out on display, we had the name tags ready, we had a table set up, we'd ordered a birthday cake with some sprinklers, we sorted out the cloakroom, we had Prosecco on arrival, and then we kind of delegated amongst the team who would be on what side of decoration and then also who would be doing what on arrival. Emma had made a playlist for us, and then as guests arrived, Emma and myself were on the welcome table giving out name badges, and then the rest of the team and other staff who had arrived greeted everybody. We'd planned a little speech as well, so Emma and Helen did that and they coordinated that by themselves, and that was it. Everyone had a great time.